welcome back to Tap 10. This is Joseph, the Tap 10 Fleet Admiral, and I just want to talk a little bit about the Heroine Cup coming on this weekend, and throughout the rest of them that you get to go to. This is mostly for newer players, not really for veteran players, but at the same time too, it's just something to introduce some of these leaders that they might see this weekend, and just make sure we have a good, nice tournament. And I just want to make sure everybody's prepared for what they could see, as well as just give them eye-opening on what's in the format and things like that. I don't want to make the video too long. I've done long, extensive videos, and it's not really what I want to do on this channel, but I do want to make sure we kind of get informed, some of the locals in our area and what they could be playing against, and what some of the tight ends of the format and what some of the niche format cards that you might not see a lot of, but just know they're going to be really powerful leaders. Okay. Just know this weekend you'll probably see a lot of 9-cost boa and a lot of 5-drop Nami. But at the same time too, just know that, the whole point of Heroine Cup is to switch up the format, play something different, and just enjoy a different format. Also too, on Saturday, Tap 10 will be hosting a Heroine Cup, and one of our top prizes will be just another set of Heroine dice. These are made out of metal. These are really nice quality. They're from Uzanagi Draws, so you'll know that you'll see the price tag on them. But at the same time too, there's just something that we're giving out this weekend for our tournament. We want all players to join. It's a sim tournament. I'll be posting it later on tonight after I get done with this video. But so obviously EB03's biggest addition to the format would be EB03 Vivi. And since Vivi is going to be in the format, this is probably the biggest elephant in the room of how good is she, how well does she dominate the format, and this is a leader that everybody should be prepared to play against. Okay, Vivi, I don't have to explain all her effects. Just know that when it comes to Vivi, this is something that you'll see a lot of this weekend. Another leader that, bear with me, I don't have the alt art, is Boa Hancock. So might see the nice pretty Boa Hancock on this weekend, not this one right here as much, but so her effects is when you play a character, draw a card, and then she's also one of the cards that's really dangerous in the format, because you can't, when you try to KO one of her Kudra Pirates or her Amazon Lily characters with a base power of 5,000 or more, you have to take her life. So she's a very powerful card leader in this format. She's already powerful in the regular meta, but in this format, she's even more of a danger with swarming the board. Then you'll see one of my favorite leaders from EB03. We have decks like Joey Bonnie, Yellow Bonnie. She's a very powerful on-curve deck and a very powerful trigger deck. She has awesome boss monsters like the 9-cost Bonnie that just speed up the game. And this is one leader that if you're sleeping on, you might want to get some extra reps this weekend. Another a card that some people might think is not a leader that's not really involved in the format, but she still has a lot of legs, especially with the format not being nearly as aggro and a lot of mid-range. Blue Promo Nami. She's an alternate win condition leader. For a lot of the new players, they might not know, but when she under the rules of this game, you can only include East Blue type cards in your deck, and when this deck is reduced to 0, you win the game instead of losing. So this is a mill deck, and the intention of the deck is to mill all the cards out as fast as it can. Okay. Well, I guess we're going back to OP12 because we're gonna skip back, and we have Black Yellow Koala. It's another really powerful control leader that when this once per turn, one of the key effects to this leader being powerful is that this effect can be activated when your opponent plays a character with a base of 8 or more, or when your opponent plays a character using a character effect, your opponent adds 1 card from the top of their life to their hand. So she's a pretty powerful leader just because she makes people take life when they have to play big kaiju monsters, or if they try to go wide on her with multiple small aggro monsters. Another card that got a lot of support in this format, another leader, would be Green Yellow Shirahoshi. She's something that she's a spam deck, but she does not be able to swing with a leader. Just know that this weekend, if you see this leader turn sideways to attack, just know that's not how this leader works. Shirahoshi is one of those leaders I really enjoy, and I hope to see a whole bunch more people playing it this weekend. We'll slide you down. Another leader expect a cool amount of support from EB03 and hope to see somebody play this weekend is Red Purple Sugar. She's a Don Quixote pirate type leader that she really takes effective use of ramping, and she does a lot of really cool counter events. She's one of those cool leaders that has a very special niche in the game, and she's really cool because she gets a cool color combination of red and purple that we don't see a lot often, but she also has a big effect on this format. Then one of my favorite leaders in this format, Purple Yellow Nico Robin. It's an OP9 leader. Her biggest thing is that she has the banish text box on her, so every time she swings with banish, which for a new player they might not know, that just means when this card deals damage, the target card is trashed without activating its trigger. And also she has one of the easiest ramp requirements in the game by pitching a trigger when she swings. So she has access to a lot of good things, and I think she's the only single leader in this format that has access to Gum Gum Giant, which Gum Gum Giant was the card of 2025. A lot of new players might not know that, but Gum Gum Giant was rampant all last year, and this is the only deck in the whole format that can use it. Okay, and the next leader I would go with is another OP9 leader, is Lim, right? She had a little bit of play last format in OP13 because she had a good matchup in the Emo. She's a very fast deck. One of the biggest niches about Lim is that all her characters come in rested, so she doesn't have none of her cards come active, which can be sometimes her downfall, but she has ways to play around it. But if you rest 3 Dawn, she can play out an Odyssey character with 5 costs or less from her hand, so she's able to really swarm the board really quickly. And she also has a very unique color combination of green and purple, so she ramps to 10 very fast. Another leader that I think a lot of people are going to play this weekend, but not in great numbers, but a lot of really strong players, I still can see them playing it, is OP8 Carrot. Carrot is a leader that I've seen have success in our format, past formats, even without the support that it has now. And now that EB04 is out and EB03, this is the strongest that Carrot's ever been, and has multiple support cards, and her strategy of able to rest characters and freeze characters can be very powerful in this format. A leader that I hope takes it all this weekend, OP8 Pudding, is another leader. Hopefully this is probably her last hurrah for a while because of rotation coming in April, where a lot of the big mom pirates are rotated, but Purple Yellow Pudding is going to be a menace. She's a very powerful ramp leader, just like Nico Robin. When attacking, can just pitch a card. Can just flip her life, and she can ramp. So when she has a very easy way to ramp, and when she gets to 10, she has a thing to play. She has Big Mom, the 10 cost, which is a diabolical card in this format. Even more powerful than 9 cost Boa, because she trashes a life and gains a life. And Pudding is a deck that has shown can even steal games from Emu, so it's a very powerful deck, and something that should be watched out for this weekend. Now we're going to go back to an older format card, something that we might not have seen a lot of, and a lot of new players have probably never even played against this deck, but OP7 Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock is a mid-range leader, a 5 life leader, mono blue. She has a lot of support from OP13 and EB03 that can't be missed out in this format. She definitely is something that needs to be on the radar, especially because it's a big, strong, tanky leader, draws a lot of cards, and she has a lot of good removal. And then we also have the legendary Queen of Green, who's got even more support, Joey Bonnie, OP7 Joey Bonnie. This is something that she's definitely one of the titans of the format, and she's a gatekeeper, one of the gatekeeper decks, because Green Bonnie is always very powerful. In any format, has access to the greatest hits of green and all things like that. But her effect of on her opponent's attack once per turn, she may rest a Dawn, and she's able to turn one character, your opponent's leaders or characters, she can rest them. So pretty much every swing, every turn, no matter what, she gets one infinite counter, and she gets to turn something sideways, which is very powerful in any format. Then we'll go back to some OP6 leaders, which might got a little bit of support in this format from EB04 and EB03. You would say OP6 Yellow Yamato, Yellow Green Yamato. She got a lot of support from um, with EB04, with Kikanojo, and she even has EB03 support with Yamato. Her key with her is that she has double attack. Her leaders already has built double attack, which means that the leader's swing is always pressure, always has to be answered. This is something that this weekend you might see a lot of people playing, and her leader swing can swing a game very quickly. One of those card leaders that might come out the woodworks that you don't see too often, but I can see in the Heroine format with her top end of her deck being very powerful and how good her ramp is. I can see it happen very quickly. Red Purple Uta. She's a very powerful leader that when attacking, she's able to ramp by dumping a film card. Most of her film cards are purple, but which a lot of people might not have dealt with a lot of if you're new to the game. But she's a really good leader that has a lot of good, really powerful Shanks cards to play as top end. And if she gets there quicker than you, she can really change the game and end the game very quickly. Another OP6 leader. This is like some of the best Heroine leaders all came from OP6, but we have Green Black Perona. She received a little bit of support in this set, and hopefully she gets to make an impact this weekend. I'm not sure how. I'm not the most familiarized with Perona, but I do know her leader effects, having multiple leader effects of resting a character up to 4 costs every turn and giving one of your opponent's characters -1 cost. Having 2 really good colors of green and black. She's gonna have to be something that people have to pay attention to. Here goes another really powerful leader. I think OP6 Reiju. OP6 brought 4 really good, powerful leaders into the meta of the Heroine Cup with Reiju, blue purple Reiju. She seems to get a lot of support all the time, but she's also a very good spam deck, very fast, draws a lot of cards. This deck might not have 10 Dawn all the time very quickly, but its Dawn manipulation is definitely what gives it the advantage. It gets to play 7 cost characters and 5 cost characters, 4 cost characters, all for very little amount of Dawn. And it's a very powerful swarm deck, and I know a couple good pilots in our locals that probably going to try to take this weekend. Then I'll probably go to some of the older cards in the format. We would probably go with something like Red Yellow Bella Betty. As I gotta mention, Tommy, one of our store Treasure Cup champions, he played Bella Betty last year to win our Treasure Cup. It's a very powerful deck, and when unchecked, Bella Betty she wreaks havoc. And then some of the leaders that I'm not 100% sure. Well, I know the last leader that I know got a lot of good support in EB03 would have been Green Uta. Green Uta, she's a star deck leader, but she has a very consistent advantage engine. With her, every time she swings, she's able to grab a film card from the top of her deck, which can just snowball into a lot of advantage, especially if you're not playing against a blue deck that can put in your hand. Then I would also say, that's something I would really say about Uta. Uta probably has a lot of potential to do well in this tournament. I just don't know how well she's going to do against removal. But I do think she's going to do very well in these tournaments. Another Uta to think about, which I know maybe 1 or 2 locals that might play it, is Red Uta. She's not seen very often, but she's able to just boost up vanilla characters plus 2,000 every turn. So she can start doing big hits for low cost. And then some of the old OP4 leaders, which we have the original VV, which she gives a rush, but she's a little bit more expensive than the other VV. And then we also have the non-swinging leader, Rebecca, which is a blue-black leader that might actually end up dominating the format if she can get all her setup correct. And then the last leader I would say is OP, as Star Deck 09, Yamato, as well as number 7, Star Deck Linlin. I don't really expect a lot of people to play those decks, even just if they had access to them. They're older leaders, but they're maybe not the strongest in the format. This one has access to 10 Lin, so that's pretty good. But I'm not the most versed on those leaders. but I would definitely take consideration of all leaders that are here. And then the only leader I did not get a chance to go over is probably the biggest titan of the format, which would be Blue Yellow Nami. Blue Yellow Nami is got the most support from the set. She got a 5 cost and a 7 cost that really make her curve going first pretty strong. They put a lot of pressure on your life as well as gaining a lot of life herself. You know, when it comes to these leaders, just know you're gonna probably play a lot of Blue Nami this weekend, Blue Yellow Nami, a lot of red VV, red green VV, red blue green VV, and a lot of Boa Hancock. Probably the 3 most popular leaders. But at the same time too, it's gonna be a nice healthy format of just different leaders and different things. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a leader you've never played before, played against before, but make sure you embrace it and play as well as you can. Also too, just be on the lookout for signups for Tap 10's Heroine Cup, and see y'all soon. Fleet Admiral signing out.